Welcome. This week's Killen Fitness video, I'm going to do a little segment on how to utilize a foam roller, and we will use a squash ball a little bit as well, for stretching techniques. So this is considered self-myofascial release, or SMR. The rollers come in a lot of different textures and kind of firmness. So this one is hollow and it's a lot harder. This is what I keep at home for myself, but especially at gyms, and what you might have seen is solid and a little more foam. But just by feeling them, you can feel the different textures. So the harder that it is and the more kind of ridges it has on it, the more intense it's going to feel. So you can use whatever feels comfortable for you or whatever is available. Foam rolling delivers improvements in flexibility, muscle recovery, movement efficiency, inhibits overactive muscles, and pain reduction. I prefer to use it before a workout. I do like to use it after, but before a workout to lengthen the muscles, and then I'll do a little bit of stretching and then my workout, and then if time allots, I also like to do it after a workout to kind of re-lengthen them, or at any time during at home if I'm having sore muscles. So starting down at the feet, our feet often get overlooked. So a way to do the feet is just pushing that weight down on this. So you could also do it standing, but just kind of rolling out that foot. For the feet, mine aren't very sensitive, so I like to use the racquetball for this, or squash ball, or whatever smaller device you have. This is really going to get in there. So just rolling it around, and then the idea with these techniques is that once you kind of find a tight spot, you want to hold it and just apply pressure without moving. So a minimum of about 30 seconds, and you should feel instant relief. So if you're not yet, then you want to do it more than 30 seconds. So again, you're just rolling it, and then if you don't feel a tight spot, then you're good, you can move on. But if you do, go ahead and apply pressure and hold that. And then doing the other side as well. So next, moving up to the calves. So you do one side at a time. So I'm going to put kind of like my mid calf on the roller. To add more pressure, you're going to cross this leg over. If that feels like way too much, you could kind of just set it down, but this tends to work a little bit better. And then either without lifting the hips, or again, to add more pressure, you can lift those hips. That's pretty intense. So I'm going to leave mine down. So I'm just rolling right there. I already feel a tight spot, so I'm going to hold it for 30 seconds to 90 seconds until I feel a release. So again, you're just rolling until you find a tight spot. You can kind of, turn your calf a little in or out if you need to, and then just holding and pressing. So sometimes it can be pretty painful, but it should lighten up pretty quickly, and then it feels amazing. And then you'll want to do the other side as well. Okay, so switch sides. Again, rolling your body over the roll, and then holding when you feel a tight spot. And you might have several tight spots in each side. So this one's especially good for runners, also people that wear heels a lot. So really get in on those calves, feels awesome. Next is hamstrings. So I like to do one side at a time, especially with this size of a roller. So I'm going to start, you don't want to go behind the knee, so I'm starting just above the back of the knee, lifting my hips so they're unsupported, and just rolling. Again, you can kind of turn side to side. So for me, it's a little more on the outer, and just holding that. Hamstrings tend to be really, really tight for people and can even go up and cause back pain. So definitely get into those hamstrings. So finding a tender spot, holding it, then maybe going a little more and seeing if there's anything else. So a little more towards the inside or middle. And then when you're done with that, go to the other side. Next, we're going to flip to the front of the legs and do a little work on the quads. So again, I'm going to do one side at a time. You can do both at the same if you have a bigger roller. So coming in a prone position or tummy down on your forearms so you can stay lifted a little bit. Make sure you're not just letting that back sag, but kind of engage the core a little bit. So my quad is on there, and now I'm rolling until I find a tight spot, which didn't take long. And just holding there. Again, you can go a little to the inside or a little more to the outside of that leg. And just rolling those tight spots out and holding. And then make sure you switch sides. All right, next is the adductor muscle, which is our inner thigh. So this one you kind of have to get up in your groin. So you're gonna put this down and then lay with your inner thigh on there. This already, I feel it immediately. So you're just rolling and then holding. And be gentle on this, it's a little bit more tender than some of the larger muscles. And make sure you switch sides. So next is the TFL, which is kind of right on the front side of the hip. Some people call this kind of right where your pocket would be on your pants. So I'm gonna come on one side and roll that out. So top leg is bent in front for this. Doing one side at a time and just getting in that outer hip area. And holding once you find the tight spot. So similar to that, now we're going to do the piriformis, which is more closer to the glutes. You can get into the glutes as well. So now, similar, but I'm more tilted back, so kind of more the back side of the hip and butt. This is one of my favorites. So crossing that leg over kind of gives it a little different angle, vantage point for that piriformis. And if you do want to get more into the glute, just turn yourself over a little more so you can get into a different spot. Otherwise, right here on the side. Feels really good. So to get in there deeper, again, for most of these, you can utilize the squash ball or another device, especially on the glutes or that piriformis. This can be really good to place right under there and roll on top of it. Also in the hamstrings, you can even do it while you're sitting in a chair, just with this under you and kind of finding those tight spots. Next, getting into the lats or those back muscles. So you're gonna lay on your side. Your bottom arm is gonna be outstretched. Make sure your thumb is facing up for this. And you just kind of roll again until you feel that tight spot and then hold it and then switch sides. So for any of these ones where you're getting close down to the ribs or when you start doing the back, which we'll do next, make sure that you're avoiding, basically from here down. You don't want to get into where you don't want to be pushing on where all your organs are. All right, so for the thoracic spine or the upper back, we're not doing any of the mid to lower back. Again, avoiding those areas where all your organs are. So you don't want to be pushing down into there. So upper back is on the roller, arms crossed is nice. You're gonna lift those hips up. Again, just staying in that upper spine, and you also don't want to go under the neck with this. So just that upper area, and this feels really good. Sometimes you might even get a little pop. And just holding once you find that tender spot. You can release your neck if you need to. So we don't typically get into the neck with the foam rollers, a little too intense, but you can use one of the balls, a smaller point, just rolling it kind of into your neck and then just holding, which can be awesome. So don't foam roll your neck, but if you have a smaller device, you can use that to get into your neck. That's it for the SMR for today. There are some other ones, but those are kind of the basic ones for each muscle group. And enjoy that. Try it out and see how it feels. Lengthen those muscles and feel good.